Greetings everyone, this is Odysseus, and you are watching the Arkham Horror Campaign video series. Game number 3 and turn number 6 is about to begin. We're going to start with the upkeep phase in turn number 6, and first things first, of course, we move the first player marker. Now we're going to check our environment event. We have tremors going on. We roll a 1, bad things happen. Oh my goodness, we roll another 1. I'll tell you what, we are not having a lot of luck in this game right now. So we're going to randomly draw an ally to leave because our terror level is going to go up to 2. And the ally leaving us is going to be a Basil Elton. Alright, he will be taken out of the game. And something I did incorrectly back on turn 4, we also rolled a 1 during the upkeep phase, and I mistakenly misremembered the rule for the Innsmouth Rising that does not add a token to the Innsmouth Rising track. That only happens when a gate is prevented from opening from a seal, or if a monster moves into one of the vortexes on the Innsmouth board. I just misremembered that rule. So we're not quite as bad a shape up in Innsmouth as I had thought. Okay. Now the tremors hurting our movement as well. Let's check out what we're going to have going on with Kate Winthrop. She is going to be leaving the Dreamlands this turn. She's going to be using her lore to seal, to close the gate to the Dreamlands. I don't see anything she needs to have changed, though we'll go ahead and up her movement once, because I think she is going to need to be moving not this turn but the next turn. Alright. Skids is going to increase his will by lowering his fight. We're going to wait one more turn and try and gather some clue tokens here. With his understudy script, the best he can get is 1 dice, so we're going to just take the dice shot, and if we don't get it, we're going to move on and do something else. And that's all he's going to do. I do believe 1, 2, yeah, he pretty much needs to wait and see if that congregation of monsters outside in the south side splits up this next turn. Wilson Richards is going to be returning to the Innsmouth board at the Esoteric Order of Dagon. His best shot is going to be what? Lore or luck? Lore or fight? So we're going to go ahead and get his fight all the way up. And don't really need lore right now. Well, we've got a bonus to luck, so that's pretty good. Speed is probably fine for what it needs to be. Don't see him needing to do anything else. I think that's going to do it for him. Alright, going back to Roland Banks. He is going to have to be fighting this turn. Oh, but he is in the streets, so he gets to make his larceny roll. Let's see if he can finally get something that's going to help him. He rolls a 2, which is nothing happens, so we're going to take a second dice. Because of his criminal background, he gets to roll twice if he doesn't like the first roll. And another 2, so nothing happens. So, he's going to not have anything from his larceny this time. We got lucky the first 2 times, getting a couple of unique items. Alright. He's got to figure out, he's going to be moving, he's going to be fighting. Alright, we're going to not need a lot of speed, so we're going to drop the speed down. We're going to use 1, 2, that's probably about right, just needing 2 movement, I think. Give us a sneak of 3, because he's probably going to need to sneak a little bit around town, gathering up the clues that are up there. I think the fight is okay. Don't think I'm going to need any lore. We're going to keep our luck high. Alright, I think that's going to probably wrap it up for our upkeep phase. Don't see anything else I need to do. Oh, 1 card needs to be refreshed. Almost forgot to refresh. Mythos lore for Wilson Richards. Okay, Well, that's going to wrap up the upkeep phase for turn number 6. Okay, here we are, ready to start the movement phase in turn number 6. Kate is our first player, and she's going to move from the Dreamlands back to the witch's house. In the encounter phase, she'll make her attempt to close that. Skid's O'Toole is going to continue to hang loose in the woods, and this time we are going to try to read the underscript study. I have to make a will check -2. Well, my will is a 3. It's going to give me 1 die. So, if we don't make this, we're not going to worry about it anymore. And we did not make it, so we're not going to spend any more time hanging out here trying to make that work. That'll be his last time trying that. Wilson Richards is going to move from the City of the Great Race back to Innsmouth at the Esoteric Order of Dagon. And now for the tricky one. Roland has a choice. He can go take on the cultists and try to stealth around the Dark Young. He's not really gotten enough equipment to take on the Dark Young. It's not quite strong enough. Or he can try to maybe stealth around the Starspawn. Again, very tough creature. But speed is a 2, +1 for his ally, -1 for the environment, so a speed of 2. I think what we're going to do, we're going to stealth around the Starspawn. Alright, we'll move 1, and now we will roll 2 dice to do the evade check. I have a sneak of 3 with the monster's awareness -1. So, here we go. 2 dice. And, of course, reroll double 1s. Now, I have 1 clue, which I really sort of need. There's some clues up here for me to gather, so I will go ahead and spend my 1 clue to give myself 1 more die. Here we go. And we roll a 3. That is not good. This is going to hurt. Alright, now we got to fight this thing. We first take 3 damage from failing to evade him. Ouch. Alright. And now we're going to have to fight. Alright. Yeah, we're going to end up in the hospital probably. I don't know that I have enough stuff to do this. So, we're going to begin a round of combat. I'm going to pause right here while I assess my options. Alright, I have assessed my options here, and we are probably going to fail the horror check. Here I do not see any other options for this. So the horror check at -3, my will is currently at a 2. I get +1 on horror checks because of my cross, but that is still not enough to pass this horror check. So we're going to take the 3 sanity hit. Ouch. This is really bad for him. Alright, so we are way down in sanity now. Oh, sorry, it's only a 2 sanity hit. That is my mistake. It's only a 2 sanity loss, so it's not that much better. But now we will actually begin the combat. Have a choice of fight or flee. Well, let's doing an assessment. I have a fight skill of 4. Actually, you know what? I did forget. I do get 1 die. I forgot my allies give me +1 to my will, so that's a 3. With the cross, it gives me a 4, -3. I do get to roll 1 die on my horror check. Probably still going to fail. Yeah, we have not been lucky on this regard. So the result is the same. Alright, I've got a fight of 4. I've got +3 for my enchanted blade. That's it, gives me 7. I have -3, gives me 4 dice to get 3 successes. Yeah, that's not going to be very likely. So it's actually, my best odds here are to try to evade this thing again. We have a awareness of -1, a sneak of 3, so my best shot is to roll 2 dice to get 1 success, rather than rolling 4 dice to get 3 successes. If this fails, we're going to end up in the hospital. Here we go. And, oh my goodness, we made it. Whew! There's my evade. Alright, so we will evade the monster. and that will end the combat. And I will double check this, but I'm pretty sure failing the first evade puts me at the end of my movement phase. I do not get to keep on moving, even though I evaded later. The first one does end my movement there. Okay, well, Roland, not a lot of luck there. Took a pretty big hit. 2 sanity, 3 stamina loss. Just the dice are not falling our way in this game. It's stacking up odds against us. Alright, that's going to wrap up the movement phase for turn number 6. Alright, we're back for the encounter phase in turn number 6. And, well, things have been looking sort of bleak for us for the last few turns. But let's see if we can turn things around here in the encounter phase. First, we're going to have Kate Winthrop, who's attempting to close the gate. We don't have enough clues for sealing, but we're going to close the gate at the witch's house. Now, it's a +1 modifier, being a gate to the Dreamlands. She's going to be using her lore, which is a 5. That will give us 6 dice. So we're going to pull up 6 dice and see if we can close this gate. There we go. I see a success here. I have 6 dice. I have 1 success. Not statistically probable with only 1 success, but that's okay. We do close the gate, which has a slash on it. I do believe we have a monster on the board with a slash. Oh no, we killed it already. Let's look over here. And yes, we have no monsters with slashes, so that doesn't help us at all. We're going to move our gate holder back over to here. Alright. Closes up a gate, not enough for a seal. But that gives us 2 gate trophies and only 1 gate left on the board. And we'll move on to Skids O'Toole, who is having an encounter over in the woods. And let's draw his card and see what happens here. Old Sadie Sheldon, leader of the Sheldon gang, is here. Do you think you have what it takes to join my gang? If you spend at least 5 toughness worth of monster trophies or 1 gate trophy, she accepts you into the gang. I do have a gate trophy, but I am not going to spend it because we're trying to win the game holding on to 4 gate trophies. Take the Sheldon Gang membership card if you're successful. If you do not spend the trophies, she has her boys throw you out. Move to the street and lose 1 stamina. Well, we've got some stamina to spare for him, so we're going to take that loss. And we will move into the streets where this skeleton is. We may have to just fight that skeleton this next turn. I've got a little bit of weaponry. Probably be alright. Okay. Now we're going to move over to Wilson Richards, who is at the Esoteric Order of Dagon, trying to close gate to the City of the Great Race, which is a 0 modifier. He is rolling with a fight of 4 and no other modifiers, so we're going to roll 4 dice. Alright, let's get our 4 dice here. Here's 4 dice. And roll it. And we do get a success right there. 1-5. Awesome. Okay, so we're going to claim a gate trophy. That's awesome. There's our gate, and it is a triangle. We're going to put the gate stand back and see if we have any triangle monsters. That would be really nice. Yes, we have 1 triangle monster. We do have, oh no, that's a diamond. That was deceiving me. Paper was folded up. So, we don't lose that monster. We'll put him back in his stand. Okay. No monsters taken off the board, but that gives us 3 gate trophies and no gates on the board. That's pretty useful. Okay. All we need is 1 more gate trophy and no more gates on the board, and we actually will win the game that way. I think that's going to be our best shot. We don't look like we have much stamina left in this group. We're really getting beaten down. Alright, we will move on to Roland Banks, who is actually in the streets. He will have no encounter this turn. So, that's going to wrap up the encounter phase for turn number 6. Okay, we're back here for the Mythos phase in turn number 6, and I just realized that I have overlooked something. there is another gate on the board. I have a gate to the Plateau of Ling right here. That's a 4th gate. If I can get this gate sealed or closed with no other gates appearing, we've got a chance here. So, I wish I'd seen that last turn. I would have moved Roland Banks a little bit differently, but we've got 2 guys up in Innsmouth who might be able to get there, well, at least one of them there. I think I've got a plan formulating in my head. We do have another hex creature there. Alright, there's a chance we can actually get there. So, we're going to be working on that this next turn. Well, let's draw a Mythos card and see if we can make it just a couple more turns. We draw Wild Visions Plague the City headlines. It's not an environment. So let's go down here. Gate opens up at the witch's house. Well, we have no seals to stop it, but look at this. Holy smokes. Kate Winthrop is at the witch's house. No gates can appear where she is. So that's going to prevent any new gate from opening up. That is awesome. Alright, let's move some monsters. Pluses and crescents are going to move. So, we do have a plus up here, but he will not move because he's in the street with him. The crescents do move, and they're moving on black. So the cultist is going to go here, up in Innsmouth. That actually helps a little bit. It clears out this street area. Alright, and let's see if we have any monsters down here to move. No pluses, except we do have a crescent, but he's in the same location with Schizo Tool, who will not be moving. Alright, we get a new clue at Black Cave. Let's gather a clue here and put it down the Black Cave. And we're going to see what the event is. Wild Visions Plague the City. Investigators may set their skill sliders however they want when this card is drawn. That's an interesting effect. With that in mind, I know Kate's going to need a lot more movement, so we're going to go ahead and immediately set her slider up. And she's not going to be fighting, so we're going to raise her will up. Alright. Roland. Yeah. He's going to need at least 2 movement, so we're going to have to... Really would like to have 3 movement, but we don't have enough stealth to get around that Dark Young. So, well, he's going to have to leave his sliders where they are. Skids is going to change his speed to 2. Give him a little bit of stealth. Yeah, there's no way to automatically succeed there, so... Yep, that's the best we can do. I think we're going to stay there and fight that skeleton this turn. I'm going to give us one more shot at the understudy script. Question is, what is Wilson Richards going to do? He doesn't really matter about his sliders because he can do that anyway during the upkeep phase. So we're just going to leave him where he is for the moment. That's going to wrap up the Mythos phase in turn number 6. And turn number 7, we got a chance here. We avoided a gate opening up. So we just got to keep one more turn with no new gate appearing, and we might be able to actually wrap this game up pretty quickly. Otherwise, I think we're going to lose very quickly. So that will wrap up turn number 6. Welcome back, everybody. This is Odysseus, and you are watching the Arkham Horror Campaign video series, game number 3, and we're about to start turn number 7. Going to do the upkeep phase. However, I have realized we have done one thing wrong twice in this game, and that is 2 times during the game we have used Kate Winthrop's ability for gates not appearing. That has happened actually twice. And the Innsmouth Rising rules say that anytime a gate is stopped from appearing from an Elder Sign or a character ability, you have to put a token on the track. So that's twice. We're going to now be at 4 marks on the Innsmouth Rising track. That was a bit of things uncomfortable here, but you know what? maybe we're going to get to the end of this quicker than that track will load up. We're going to cross our fingers and hope. Alright, we're going to start the turn by moving our first player market over to Schizo Tool. And we have our trimmers environment going, so we're going to check and see if we have to deal with trimmers this turn. And we do not, as we roll the 5. Alright, so we don't add 1 to the terror track. That's good. Now we're going to do the upkeep phase for Schizo Tool. Now this turn, I believe that he's going to combat this monster in his space. He's not going to try to move out. He's got 2 one-handed weapons. And we're going to go over here and look at this skeleton really quickly. He's got physical resistance. But he's not that difficult to fight. So if I've got 2 plus 4 is 6, plus 1 more is 7. Minus 1, 6 dice to get 2 successes. Or 7 dice to get 2 successes. I think that's pretty good odds. I think we're going to try to go with that. The horror check is a -1. So you know what? We are going to up our fight by 1 more point. Alright, that'll give us... We're probably going to fail the will check, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. We can take a small hit in the sanity because we have whiskey. It'll help us get through even the most scary situations. Alright, that will give us Wilson Richard. Now, he is actually going to take his motorcycle and use a lot of movement this time, but we only need 5 movement. -1 for the trimmers gives me 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, he's going to use all of his movement where it is. He's got enough stuff to do his... He's got the silver key, which lets him automatically pass evade checks. That's pretty good. So yeah, we're going to be getting over to the 1 remaining gate on the board, the Plateau of Ling, and we're going to see what we can do to get through that and get it sealed. If we can get that gate sealed before another gate appears, I'm sorry, not sealed but closed, we will actually win the game. That's not very probable, but we're going to see what happens here. Alright, I think he's going to be pretty good. Otherwise, I don't see anything else we need to adjust on him. So we're going to head over here to Roland Banks. Now, Roland Banks is only going to need 1 point of movement. So we're going to drop his speed down to the bottom, giving him the maximum amount of sneak, so he can sneak away from this star spawn up there in his spot. Yeah, and that's probably all we're going to need to do for him. He is pretty well set. He does begin the turn in the streets, though, so he does get to roll for some larceny. So let's go ahead and roll for some larceny here. Let's see what he's doing running around in the streets. We roll a 4. 4 is gain $2. You know what? We're going to take that. I could re-roll it, but you have to take the second roll, and it could be much worse. So we're going to take the $2 because I think we're going to need to be able to go out and retrieve Wilson Richards from the island, and that's going to require us to pay for a boat. And so if we're going to have an extra couple of dollars, that's going to help us out a lot, I think. Alright. That puts us to Kate, and Kate is at the witch's house. No clues, 1 gate trophy, 1 small monster trophy. I think she's just going to go gathering up some clues here. It's probably the right thing to do. 1, 2, 3, 4. She's got a speed of 4. Doesn't need much fight. Keep her will high, keep her lore high in case she needs to cast some spells. So I think we're probably pretty good there too. Alright. That's going to wrap up the upkeep phase for turn number 7. Okay, here we are, ready to do the movement phase in turn number 7, and we're going to start with Schizo Tool, and he is actually not going to move. And oh, I did forget to do one thing for him. There was a reason I did have his fight edit too. I forgot. I'm not going to crank that up. I need to leave it there because he is going to try one more time to. He's going to spend both of his movement points and try to read the understudy's script. And we're going to turn that. Now, you know, I'm thinking, yeah, I tried to read that once and failed. So, and it does say if you fail, you lose 1 sanity. So I'm going to go ahead and discard this whiskey card. I forgot to do that. when I lost a sanity for failing to read it before. We're going to take one more shot at reading the understudy script. And without our whiskey, this could be scary, but we'll see what happens. And we roll a 2, so that did not succeed. We'll take that sanity loss for reading a scary book. Let me check that and make sure that that is correct. If you fail, lose 1 sanity. Yep, okay. That's about all we can do. We're gonna leave it at that. But now we're going to, in the movement phase, we're gonna fight this skeleton. I've got a will of 3, and we've got a scariness of 1, so that gives me 2 dice for the will check. I do not see any other modifiers, so we're going to take our 2 dice, and here we go. We're going to see if we can pass the horror check here, and we roll a 3 and a 1, so we will lose another sanity. Alright, I'm down to 1 sanity now, but that was sort of expected to happen, I think. Alright, now we have a combat modifier of -1. We have a fight of 2, plus 1 for our skill gives us 3, plus 4 for the enchanted blade, that gives us 7, and we only get half of our bonus from the axe, so that will be 1 more, that gives us 8, minus the 1 modifier will give us 7 dice, and so we're going to pull out 7 dice here. Okay, 5, 6, 7. And we're going to drop these 7 dice. And I need 2 successes to kill this skull. Alright, come on. Here we go. And we get 1 success out of 7 dice. Okay, looking over here, you know what? We're going to go ahead and spin the clue token. Alright, we don't have many clue tokens in this game, but we're going to roll 1 more dice. Come on. And there we go. We got the 6 for 2 successes. That's going to give him this nice monster trophy, and that we'll put that monster there. We're going to reclaim a 1 more spot on our monster limit, and that's going to wrap it up for his movement phase. Now we got an interesting one. Wilson Richards is going to exhaust his motorcycle to add 2 movement points. That will give him 5, -1 for let's see, -1 for the trimmers, that's right. So here we go. We're going to move. And we're going to move 1, and I'm going to have to do an evade check against this star spawn. And 1, 2, 3. I'm thinking I don't even want to roll. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and we're going to use our silver key to automatically pass this. Oh, let me get, it says put a stamina marker on the silver key to automatically pass an evade check. So, that was 1 point of movement. 2, 3, I'm going to automatically evade this monster as well. 4, and we're going to end our movement here, pick up this clue token right there, and I'm going to go ahead and mark my second mark on the silver key. When it gets 3 marks on it, we have to discard it. Now, that's going to do for Wilson Richards' movement. Don't think we have anything more there, and I do need to check one thing really quickly. I want to see about this trimmers going on here. 1 less movement point each turn. Okay, with that in hand, I did need to increase Skid's speed to a 3 because he has 1 less movement point each turn, so we'll just spend 2 to read the understudy script. He had to have at least a 3 movement points. Okay, we had to correct that. Now for Roland, this is going to be another interesting one. He is currently up here where the star spawn is. He's got a sneak of 4, -1 for the star spawn's awareness, so we're going to pick up 3 dice and we're going to see if we can stealth away from the star spawn. Got no other things to modify this, so hopefully this comes through. And look, 1, 3, 2. That's going to do it for Roland. I believe we have no way to re-roll this. Nope. So, the Star Spawn is going to hit me for 3 stamina, and guess what? That's going to put me in the hospital. So, Roland will reappear at the hospital over here, and he will restore his stamina all the way back up to 6. So let's go ahead and get that. Stamina, we need 4 more. There's 4 stamina. I'll put him back at 6, and he's going to have to take an injury card. Alright, there's my stamina back, and we're going to take an injury card. Let's see what the injury card tells us. Concussion, -1 to focus. Okay. So, we'll have to deal with that. His focus was a 3, but that's alright. He's now a 2. That's still pretty workable. We can work around having a focus of 2. Not too horrible, but not that great either. I knew that was probably going to happen. Okay, Kate, you have a speed of 4, which is really a speed of 3. So, with the trimmers going on, I'm going to go 1, 2, and 3. Pick up a clue at the Black Cave, and next turn she will head over to the Unvisited Isle where there are 3 clues. She could not move faster than 3 because of the trimmers, lowering her movement points from 4 down to 3. Alright, that pretty much wipes us up for the movement phase in turn number 7. Okay, here we are, ready for the encounter phases in turn number 7. We're going to start with Skids, who will have no encounter because he's in the streets. So we're going to move over to Wilson Richards. Now he is at Falcon Point, and he is going to spend his last $2 to charter the boat and head over to Devil Reef. And it says you may immediately have an encounter there. Interesting, because I guess that means we don't have to, because you only encounter monsters during the movement phase. Huh. Interesting. So I guess we don't encounter the monster there. I have to do some investigation of that, but that normally you only have encounters for monsters during the movement phase, and we're past that phase. We're in the encounter phase now. So, not a big deal, because if it turns out that we do have to have the encounter, I'm just going to use the silver key to avoid it. And then what we'll do during the encounter phase is be sucked through to the Plateau of Ling. So we're going to go ahead and put ourselves there. We'll have an encounter there in a moment. Okay. Roland Banks is in the hospital. He doesn't get to have an encounter because he got moved to the hospital this turn. Kate Winthrop will, however, have an encounter at the Black Cave. Here's our drawn encounter. You come across an old brass lantern lying on its side deep within the cave. Miraculously, it is unbroken. You may search the common item deck and take a lantern card. Okay, a lantern card. I guess that's not terrible. All right, we're going to pick up a stack of cards here and see if we can find a lantern card. All right. Well, look, right there. There it is, the lantern card. All right. And that gives +1 to luck checks. That's good because she doesn't have a high luck right now. Her luck is sacrificed for her lore skill. Alright, well that will leave us coming back to Wilson Richards in the Otherworld encounter phase. He is at the Plateau of Ling, so let's see what we got here for him. Underworld, Dreamlands. Nope, we have to go to Other. You reach out and touch a great pillar of darkness anchoring your lost allies. If there are any investigators lost in time and space, you return to Arkham and they move to the street location nearest you. Oh, that would have been so awesome! That would have allowed us to close the gate next turn. Too bad, man, that would have been awesome. But we have no one lost in time and space, so that will actually not trigger. Nothing is going to happen to us in that encounter. Alright, well, that wraps up the encounter phase here in turn number 7. Alright, here we are at the Mythos phase in turn number 7, and I did do some investigating into that rule about moving to another location during the encounter phase. You do ignore any monsters there, so I did do that correctly over there. Did not have to use his last charge on his silver key for Wilson Richards. Now we're going to have to cross our fingers and see if we can get a little bit lucky on our Mythos draw to keep any more gates appearing. Here comes the draw. Eerie coincidences. It's a headline, so it does not replace our environment. And we're going to look down here and see, uh-oh, I see 2 gate locations, and they're both on the main board. So let's going to quickly read up here what it says. 2 gates open this turn, but no Doom tokens are added to the Doom track. Oh, crap. Oh, well. Alright, we're going to have a gate appear at Independence Square and Witch's House. We'll do Independence Square first. Let's go ahead and draw our gate. We just thought we were going to have all the gates sealed. That's going to be a gate to the Lost Carcosa. I'm going to grab a gate stand here and put that at Independence Square. And the second gate appearing at the Witch's House will be a gate to another dimension. And we'll grab a gate stand and put that back at the Witch's House. Alright, we're going to need to draw 2 monsters, 1 for each gate. The good news is we did not add a token to the Doom track, so we have a little bit more time. First monster will appear at the gate Independence Square, and it will be a Night Gaunt, not too horrible. The second monster drawn will be a Deep One Hybrid, also not too horrible for once. We have 2 monsters that aren't just horrible to have to face. Alright, the Deep One Hybrid is going to appear at another dimension. And the Night Gaunt, let's get him into his base. Alright. And going to appear at Lost Carcosa, a gate at Independence Square. Now let's go back to here. We've done our 2 gates, and we're going to see, oh my goodness, all the monsters in the world are going to move. Alright. Well, the first thing that's going to happen, let's do our flyers. The flyer is going to move to the sky. That's easy. Alright, we've got no other flyers. And we're going to see here that all the monsters in locations move out into the streets. That's it. Okay, we'll deal with the Innsmouth board last. Now we have the squares moving on black, so the square moves here. The hexagons also move on black, moves to here. And the diamonds will also move on black. Well, that was a little fortuitous for good old Skids O'Toole. That frees up him to go pick up those 2 clues at the Historical Society. Very handy. Alright. Of course, it blocks entrance to that gate at another dimension, but, well, that's just the way it is. Now we're going to do with this board over here. We have a plus, which moves on white. That puts the star spawn here. The crescents are going to move on black, so that cultist moves to there. And most importantly, we have this formless spawn is going to move into the void. Alright, and the void means we will tack another token on the Innsmouth Rising track. That is not good. We are 5 out of 6 on that. Bad things are on the verge of happening there. Okay, putting the formless spawn back into the monster cup. Okay. Whew, man, this is just not looking good. Okay. Wilson Richards has got another turn before he can get back and close that gate. And we got 2 gates over here in Arkham. Very difficult to get to one of them. We can probably get to the other one without too much difficulty. Alright, this is going to be a real tough one here. Clues will appear at the Unnameable and the Black Cave. Oh, okay, well, that's going to give Kate a clue because she is at the Black Cave right now. Alright, and we're going to put another clue at the Unnameable right over here. Probably going to send Roland up to that neck of the woods and start working those clues down up there. Alright. No Doom tokens on the Doom track, though. That's pretty handy, I guess. Alright. Well, that wraps up the Mythos phase in turn number 7. Things just aren't looking that good for the investigators. I have a feeling we got about 5 more turns. If we cannot win in the next 4 turns, I don't think we're going to have a chance. But you never know how things are going to play out. That's why we play the game. That's going to wrap it up for turn number 7.